Okay, well, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're coming in from around the world. We actually are just getting started today out of Sarasota, Florida, and happy Columbus Day to people here in the United States. So schools are closed, banks are closed. I don't even know. I don't think they're doing the postal stuff today. But the thing I learned in school is in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. So that's a little thing for you today. So I'm Greg. This is my beautiful wife, Mena. We're here to
Hi.
share some amazing things today. But I'll have my wife kind of kick it off, and then we'll get started.
So yes, welcome, and it's happy to have you all. We're happy to have you all on. Greg and I are not medical professionals. We don't know anything about medicine, but we do know that over the last few years that we have been sharing this amazing technology. It's changing people's lives around the world, and we cannot not share. We are here to tell you what this product is doing for people, what it can do for people, and then there's also a high level opportunity of where we show how you can actually get this product for free.
Yeah.
The thing is, we have a few people that are on here. No, not everybody's jumped on yet. Some people are always late, and that's okay. But if you've invited someone and you don't see them on here, just shoot them a text. Let them know we're going to get started in about a minute. We don't want them to miss out on anything, but do take notes. And we are going to run through this. Stay on mute. We will open up for those that are sharing. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. But if you're brand new, let us know who invited you. Okay.
Yeah, or if you've got someone new in here, make sure you put in who you invited so we know who they are. And the biggest thing is that we're going to some testimonials later about this amazing product to give you an idea of background for us. Again, I'm a business consultant. My wife's an attorney. Literally, when I was looking at this product was because I had a car accident back in 2016 that literally someone plowed into the back of my car going about 100 kilometers an hour for those who are in Europe and around the world, 60 miles an hour here, obviously in the U.S. Totaled my car, damaged my neck, my shoulder, my back. And unfortunately, everything changed that day. How many people know now that all these different doctors, doctors, chiropractors, acupuncture, acupressure, every kind of STEM technology imaginable. I did not want to do surgery. I was looking at stem cell injections. And then on 9/11/2021, I went with a bunch of guys up a 5-story building 18 times to represent them out of stairs. The firefighters climbed to 9/11. I injured my knee in that. It was a great event. I had over 100 guys, raised a lot of funds, awareness, everything else. But unfortunately, injured my knee. That months later developed hip challenges on my right side. So my left knee developed hip challenges. Right. So now I had 5 areas of pain. And so my wife is like, oh my gosh, she's complaining all the time, everything else. My friend told me about this patch, told me about LifeWave X39. Knew barely anything about it. We heard a little bit about it from some people at our church, but never knew anything. He said you got to try this. So we tried it. 3 days later, no knee pain, no hip pain, no shoulder pain, no neck pain, no back pain. I'm like, what in the world is this? How does this work? Look at all this stuff that he sent me for 2 hours. I researched it and went, oh my goodness, this is real. Whoa. Wow, this is real. Oh my goodness, we're going to change the world kind of real. And literally now we got business in 41 countries as of today, around the world, and growing like crazy. The most exciting part about this is lives are changing because of this amazing product. So we're going to share a couple things pretty quickly. And so the biggest part to this is that we always ask people is that, have you been patched yet? So if you haven't been patched, what we're talking about is a stem cell activation patch. What it really does is elevate GHK copper peptides in your body, which activates your stem cells and regenerates your body. It's pretty phenomenal. So the very first thing that when we looked at the information they sent, I saw this guy, David Schmidt, and I'm trying to figure out who he was, realized that he's the CEO inventor of the X39. He's got now over 200 patents. He's a scientist and inventor, literally specializing in age reversing. Thank God for people like this, right? I mean, I'm always thinking people are taking their life and dedicate to make our lives better, healthier, happier, and everything else. And in 2008, he focused attention on stem cell research. He'd been using this, so the company's around for 21 years now, and he started actually working with the Navy SEALs, and then he started working with Olympic athletes. You might remember the Olympic swim teams back in the day with Michael Phelps, those people that broke every kind of record imaginable using our technology, which is huge. And then in 2008, he started focus on this one product. Took 10 years, $4.5 million worth of research and development to come out with this one product, and literally today, it's growing by leaps and bounds. My wife was like, what is this? I don't want anything to do with it. And then she started looking at some of the information. She saw the patent, and that really changed kind of some thoughts.
So I was really skeptical. My background is law, and I don't believe anything. You have to prove it to me. And the thing is, it was undeniable. When Greg, for 6 years, all I heard was moaning and groaning, and all of a sudden it stops. I mean, he couldn't fake it. And so I thought to myself, it's got to be something to this. And if he's got such great results, let me take a look at this website, which I was reluctant to do because I did not believe something so small and so insignificant could do what people were telling me it's doing. I went and looked at the website and I saw a patent, and I understand as an attorney that you don't get a patent on a product unless it's one of a kind. And also you can't make a lot of the statements, well, or any of the statements in this document unless you prove that they are in fact true and they do happen. And so I looked at the patents, I saw it's a legal document registered in July of 2020, and I decided to take a look, and I saw some exciting things in here which actually intrigued my interest, or piqued my interest, I should say. And I saw this particular paragraph, which we've highlighted here for you, which says embodiments as a result of elevating copper peptide, including activational stem cells, improvements in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvements in stamina, elevation of collagen production, improved wound healing. And I was like, I like a lot of those things. I'd like to experience that. So that's when I decided, you know what? This seems like it's going to help my friends and family. And we got on the same page.
Yeah. And so just these things alone, and there's a lot more than it does than this, but it's like just these things alone, that is huge when you talk about especially activating stem cells. Because the thing that I didn't know is that why stem cell activation patch is because you start losing activation of your stem cells, so they start deactivating as you get older. So that by the time that you're 30, you have half the stem cell activity you had when you're younger. By the time you're 60, you got 5 to 10% maybe, based upon your habit, your eating habits, healthy lifestyle, everything else. Well, the one thing I knew, literally 3 years ago, I had all kinds of issues. I wasn't recovering like I thought, forgetting everything. I had brain fog, all kinds of issues, suffering from migraines, all kinds of different stuff was going on. And so I felt that, if you know what I mean. And so once again, when I use a product, at that time I felt like I was in my 60s going into my 70s. It's the only way I can explain it. My wife said, she goes, it was undeniable when I stopped moaning, because she said the first thing that helped was her hearing, because she said her ears didn't hurt anymore from me complaining so much. But now I feel like I'm 55 now, and I feel like in my 30s, going my 20s. I just do extreme workouts now. I just did one this morning, and I tell people all the time, you got to use this patch because it'll change everything. It's reverse aging, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
So how does it work? It's a proprietary form of phototherapy. A lot of us have heard of light therapy. It's a patented nanocrystal technology. So everything about it is natural and organic, nothing that's chemical in here. It reflects light off of our own body to actually activate. It's not transdermal, doesn't put anything into the skin, into the body, no drugs, no chemicals, no stimulants in it, not invasive, so it's not penetrating at all. We're not ingesting it either. It's wearable. We stick it on our body. And so we have to give the disclosures that LifeWave products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition.
And a lot of us understand phototherapy because we experience it every day. And you can always Google it. But you can go to the website. We'll give you later on. This is at info.com, and check out what phototherapy really is. But we experience it with the sunlight every single day. So the sun hits our skin, which is our biggest organ. We live in the sunshine state here in Florida. So the sunlight hits our skin and elevates what's called basically vitamin D in our body, right? It elevates different things. So a lot of people know we get vitamin D from the sun. Well, it's not pushing out vitamin D. It's pushing out a frequency of light that interacts with our body and elevates that. So it's the same thing with this patch, that our body emits heat and light 24/7, right? So if I put night vision goggles on, we glow in the dark. So the light from our body hits the patch, the heat and light hits this patch, activate the stem cells, activate the base of patch, reflect it back in a sense, basically acts as a mirror, which activates and elevates the copper peptides that activate our stem cells. So when you understand such a simple little thing, but it took 10 years to come up with the right frequency patch to reflect that frequency back into our body, it's pretty huge.
So the benefits of X39, very exciting slide here, because we've experienced everything on this: increased strength, reduced inflammation, increased stamina, energy and vitality. Mental clarity is a big one we're hearing from a lot of people. Yes. Brain fog has gone. Restored muscle and skeletal conditions, improvement of sleep, a very big one for me. I didn't sleep for many years, worry about everybody's problems. And, I thought that's just the lot in life. That's what I signed up for. I had no idea. I mean, I've never been one to take a sleeping pill. That's just not my thing. I don't do that. And so I was just going to live it out, you know. Lo and behold, I had no idea that this would actually improve my sleep. And it's been almost, well, over 3 years now that my sleep is like every night, deep sleep, rested, my head on the pillow, I'm gone, wake up the next morning refreshed, dreaming, remembering my dreams. And, you know, even days that I do have challenges and I go to bed with all types of things racing around in my head, and I think this is the night. No, I sleep. And I'm blown away by that, which is such a blessing. Improves skin appearance. We're
amazing.
seeing that with a lot of people, not just even the fine lines and wrinkles, but people who have allergies that they've lived with for years, thinking this is just the way it's going to be. Gone. Completely gone. David talks about achieving optimal health, a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being.
Yeah, and so my wife being from South Africa, she unfortunately had a lot of different allergies when she came to Florida. She's at Mile High City, basically, in Johannesburg, South Africa, comes down to sea level Florida here, and everything's completely different. The water's different, food's different, everything else. So she had itchy hands, skin, swollen fingers, all kinds of different things that happened. Today, amazing. I was looking at her hands, beautiful skin, beautiful everything. It's awesome. So it's very, very cool. And like I said, we get pages and pages and pages of this, but this is like highlighting just some of the benefits.
So this is a topography map, and what it shows is David was wanting to show what inflammation looks like, not necessarily just the brain, but what it looks like in the organs, you know. And so he asked participants to participate in this experience, and the one woman in particular, a 77-year-old woman, who partook in this, he took the scan of her brain at session 1, and you see a lot of reds and orange there. The stem cells or the brain cells are not activated. So there's a lot of inflammation in the brain, and lack of brain coherence, and that could be things like fear, anxiety, PTSD, forgetfulness, which a lot of people talk about. I forgot where my keys are. Where are they? Then he told the participant to do nothing else except to start using the X39, which we're talking about this afternoon, this evening. And what she was to do is just place it on the back of her neck every day, 12 hours on, 12 hours off, stay hydrated, drink good water, and nothing else. Didn't need to change anything else. Session 2 is a scan of her brain just 3 weeks later. Same lady. All the bright red and orange is gone, meaning that a lot of the inflammation is detoxed, improved brain coherence, not forgetting as much, not remembering the words to her sentences, etc. Session 3 is only 6 weeks later, a complete turnaround. That's what a balanced brain actually looks like. And I'd rather have that, a balanced brain with everything working together, right? Than what she had at session 1. And David said, you know, that's just 6 weeks, like literally 6 weeks. And if he had scanned every organ, he just chose to scan the brain. If he scanned every organ in her body, it would have looked like her brain looked like at session 1. And then on that journey, probably all the other organs would have looked like what they looked like at session 3, which is 6 weeks later.
Yeah. And this we talk about balanced brain, balanced, let's say, hormones. So when somebody asks about hormones, your hormones begin to balance. Your body goes into homeostasis. That's what happened to me. Literally within a few weeks, I got checked out by a chiropractor. He couldn't even adjust me. He goes, "You're in perfect homeostasis. Are you cheating on me?" I thought I was going to another chiropractor or something. And literally, I walked out there going, "Oh my goodness, we're really going to change the world." So the long-term studies, you can go on to thisisitinfo.com. It's basically a site specifically just for informational purposes. And you can see the patents, you can see the case studies. But just to highlight some of the things that are on that site there, once again, the first few days, they talk about 4,000 genes begin to reset to a younger, healthier state. Now, again, this is pretty significant. You understand the amount of genes that we have in our body. That there's a lot of things that reset genes. Like you think about resveratrol that's found in red wine. A lot of people put that in their supplements. They call it their hero product, resveratrol. Well, that resets 2 genes. This resets 4,000. So your body goes into this reboot. Like earlier today, I actually had to reboot my phone. So it was like something happened. It was like something glitch or whatever it was. So I said, let me reboot it. And now it's operating perfectly. Now, once again, imagine your body rebooting. Basically back what you were like at 8 years old. I'm serious, it's amazing. So within 6 weeks, like Mena showed, your brain becomes balanced. Within 3 months, collagen's level is increased. 2, 3, 400% in all these different studies. I mean, dramatically, naturally, without any supplementation, without taking collagen shots like my wife used to do, shots and powders and all kinds of stuff like that, naturally doing that. Just walk down the aisle and you can bypass all those 100 different collagen type companies, right? So once again, and then within 6 months, your heart's reversing age. Some of the studies I've done recently is years younger within 6 months, which is pretty amazing. So David says, he goes, this is not anti-aging, it's age reversing. And that's a pretty bold statement, but he backs it up scientifically and shows it over and over and over. We're just highlighting a couple things here. You can take a look at the website where it has more details on specifically.
So how do you wear this patch? You wear it 12 hours on, 12 hours off, and when you have it off, it's usually when you're sleeping, and well, it should be, because you don't want to have all that energy while you're sleeping. You want to sleep, because when you sleep, you repair and rejuvenate. Then you throw it out, you put a new patch on the next day, and you can see in the graphics where the patch is. Those are recommendations, because that's where the nerve bundles run, where David actually did the clinical trials. So when he did his trials, he was just consistent, making sure that people did the same thing so he could measure what was happening. And underneath the belly button, or on the C7 behind the neck, on that bone that protrudes a little more out than the other bones in the vertebrae. And you drink lots of good water. Make sure that you stay hydrated. Water that has minerals in, so not depleted of minerals. If you don't think you're getting enough minerals, then add some Celtic salt, pink Himalayan salt, watermelon, cucumber, avocado, coconut water. So there's a few things you can add to your diet that are really pleasant, and people are already eating that. So
And it's great, because people don't say you can wear the more one patch at a time, but this is in one spot, usually behind the neck. Today I'm out in public, so I'm meeting with a bunch of people, so I put it on my arm. It's easier to share with somebody here instead of there. So if I'm at a networking meeting or something like that, it's easier to share it. But you can put it anywhere. They say stick it where it hurts. I tell my friends, stick it on your forehead, so you got some brain damage. Anyway, so I joke around. Anyway, so the biggest part to this is that really the testimonials are absolutely amazing. And we're gonna have someone share in a minute. I want to share a couple things first. We're gonna have someone on our team share something that's been a game changer. You want to hear this story, so trust me on this. You want to hear her story. But once again, the testimonies of X39 are life-changing and emotional, but the best thing about it is it absolutely works. People ask us, are doctors doing this? And I'm just going to highlight a couple of doctors. Here's a plastic surgeon, an MD, very well known, people flying from around the world. He does facial plastic surgery. He's got more degrees than a thermometer, right? So he's got all these things basically that he does. And he goes, the normal recovery time on the plastic surgery he does is 6 to 8 weeks. So think of a month and a half to 2 months for the recovery. So now he's basically sending a sleeve to them, which is a 30-day supply, 30 days prior to the actual procedure. And once again, now the time frame for recovery is 7 to 10 days. Think about that. From a month and a half to 2 months for 7 to 10 days. That is absolutely huge. So that is one thing that we tell people. Doctors are loving this. And they say, he goes, if you want to work with me, you must use this patch. And other people are coming in and saying, by the way, doc, my knee doesn't hurt anymore. I'm noticing I'm sleeping better, better focus, better energy, better sleep. I got all these different ailments that are going away. Is that because of the patch? Yes, it is. It's pretty amazing. So here's another one, Dr. Leland Stillman. He's an expert in light therapy. So he's got all these red light therapy beds. You might have heard those. And what he realized, he said that, he goes, what's this little tiny patch going to do? But he realized that this is low-level stimulation for a long period of time, 12 hours a day, where I put on at 9 o'clock in the morning, take it off at 9 o'clock tonight. I was on a Zoom last night. I took the patch off, threw it out right in front of people. Said, hey, it's 9 o'clock. I'm taking it off. But once again, you wear the patch. And then he said, well, the stuff that he does is high-level intense therapy for usually 10, 15, 20 minutes at a time. So he said, I bet this works well in conjunction. He was blown away by the results. So he said, you want to work with me as a doctor, you need to use this patch. And that's what he says is part of his protocol, because he gets the results like everybody's been praying for. And he says it's not easy. And there's videos that talks about that specifically. So we have other different testimonies, that like people that show before and afters. And we got we got thousands and thousands of these. But again, day 1, day 42, a year later, look at the difference. I mean, it's huge difference. Now, if you don't notice the difference there, how about now? If you don't look at difference day 1 and where she is now, it's a little bit different. This is not AI. This is not Photoshop. This is not anything else. These are actual pictures. She tried to keep it as simple as possible. Most people do that same lighting, same situation, same smile, right? Just so you see the differences of there. But again, it is a dramatic difference that you see. I wish we would have done before and afters. My wife looks amazing. I mean, she's always looked amazing. She looks more amazing. So it's pretty awesome. Once again, you look at people that have had accidents like me. This guy fell through the rafters, fell through the ceiling, broke 6 ribs, punctured his lung. They said he wouldn't be back to work for a minimum of 6 weeks recovery. He was using the patch. Guess what? 3 weeks later, he's back to work. So look at the difference here, 13-day difference. This is less than 2 weeks. Look at the difference here at the time frame of this, because yeah, we've had doctors say that's not normal. I had a friend who got hit by a car riding his bicycle. Same thing happened, broke a couple of ribs and healed like this. His doctor was like, "Are you Superman or something?" I mean, he couldn't believe how quickly he
Yeah.
healed. It's amazing the differences. People that have skin conditions. We can show so many different things like this. But again, skin conditions, we can say miracles are happening. I mean, it's pretty amazing. People with things like vertigo. This is an example of something that's irreversible. Guess what? Reversing. And I'll have Mena share about one of our
Yeah,
friends.
so this is a friend of mine. We've known her for around 6 years now, and at the time that we met her, we had no idea about this amazing product. And I see some people jumped on late, so I just want to show small little product. It's you peel and you stick it on you.
Yeah.
And a few years later, we found out about this. I looked at the website, like I told you in the beginning, and I saw that this could help a lot of people. And so I shared with her because her condition is, the balding and the hair doesn't grow back. She tried everything. She tried steroid injections. She tried every supplement, every type of potion and lotion. And I can't tell her that this is going to fix things. But what I do want to show her is I want to show her the website, which I did. I sent her the website and she said to me, well, I've tried everything. It says it's not going to harm me. It's going to help me. So I'm going to try it. Thank God she did.
Look at the difference.
You can see before and you can see after. Does it look different?
Amazing.
And she is so excited. She lives here in Florida as well. And she was wearing hats and wigs.
Oh my gosh.
It is hot.
In summer heat, yeah.
It is hot in summer. And to wear that and all the, oh gosh.
It's like wearing a fur coat in the
She is
summertime.
super excited that she's had a great result.
Absolutely. And so what's great about this too is that, again, you think about just people that you know. I'm sure you're already thinking of people that have challenges. We all know people that have different challenges, right? How about someone who actually has Parkinson's? Again, we had someone severe. We can't guarantee anything, but this is just a friend of a friend that basically Andre started had severe Parkinson's to the point where he couldn't even hardly feed himself anymore. He said, Greg, you don't understand. He said, I used to have to take a fork, stick in the food, and then stick a knife through the fork to basically bring it to my mouth to eat. So he would get up in the morning, eat some breakfast, take his medications, go back to bed. He didn't want to live anymore. Now he's living his best life. A few months ago, his wife posted this on Facebook. Once again, it says, Lifeway Patch with the grace of God. We live daily in all of our miracles. He's now back water skiing. He could hardly walk, let alone now he's water skiing. I mean, it's amazing. We can show you over and over and over. Last one I'll share with you real quick is we just had this testimony last week where someone had blood pressure, 226 over 108. Within a couple days, 170 over 85.
Yeah.
Is that a difference or is that a difference? Now, again, we can show this over and over and over, all these different things, but we want to share something today with someone who actually, or have someone share today that Rose, you want to introduce Rose?
Yeah, so Rose, oh my gosh, she's absolutely amazing. I'm going to ask you to guess her age before she tells us what her age is. So we know Rose for a number of years out in Ohio, and we've known them through a previous opportunity, and they are just amazing. Rose has had many, many challenges. You're going to hear about it this afternoon, evening. Hey, Rose. And the thing is, her attitude is so amazing. But when you hear about these results, if you don't think that this is changing people's lives, then honestly, you haven't really heard.
Yeah, so tell us where you were, what happened, what was going on, and then when you were choosing the pastor, what's changed since then?
Okay, I'm Rose Barfield from United States, and I'm going to cry through the whole thing because 2 years, I've been wearing a patch 2.5 years. And a friend of mine from another business had called me. His name's Rudy. And he said, what do you know about stem cells? I said, I don't know. But what Rudy didn't know is that my life was tumbling. I had 5 surgeries in 1 year, plus I had breast cancer, so I had a double mastectomy. I became legally blind. I had stage 4 cirrhosis and tinnitus from chemo drugs. So my life was getting worse and worse. I was getting weak. My brain fog was awful. And I was always a get up and run person. I was in healthcare for 40 some years. And once I started getting all these health challenges, I was just giving up. I didn't have the want tos. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And I'm a chatty Cathy. And I'm a Sicilian grandma. I didn't want to cook anymore. And things that the patches have done, like I said, 2.5 years. And in this last year, I wanted to share with you what has happened just in the last year. Things that you don't think are happening are happening. Like I'm able to have better balance. I'm able to get in and out of the shower by myself, wash my own hair, shower, wipe myself down, which my husband had to help me with. I'm able to cook and clean. I couldn't even fix a bed. I couldn't lift the mattress to fix a bed. I can run up and down stairs. I can carry groceries. Those are little things that I couldn't do. And I'm going to be 80 in a couple years. And look at my hair. I mean, really, I have hypothyroidism. And my skin, my arms, they were all real wrinkly. And I look at my arms and I'm thinking, oh my God, that is not me. And it took a little longer with the collagen. I mean, it started in about 3 months on my face, but on the rest of my body, it still had a lot of work to do. And in the last 2 years, my skin is getting smoother. I can see better. I can see to drive. They took my driving privileges away from me because of the hemorrhaging I got from the chemo drugs. And stage 4 cirrhosis is now stage 3. That never happens. My macular degeneration that I got went from wet to dry. That never happens. And I just wanted to share with especially the seniors, you lose your sense of purpose when your family grows up and moves. And LifeWave gives me something to do. My husband's giving the high sign for 4 minutes. LifeWave's giving me something to do, and it's I'm able to help people. But and then I just wanted to share something I shared with Ken Burke. Cleveland Clinic has me on a research study because I'm doing so well, and they have me on a bike that I have to ride for an hour, and every 10 minutes I get my blood pressure. Perfect blood pressure. I can talk while I'm on the bike. When I got off the bike, I thought my legs would be wobbly. No problem. I got off the bike, went up the steps. Matter of fact, I was talking to Ken as I was getting off the bike, and I wasn't even out of breath. So I just wanted to share that the stem cells, as you know, when they reactivate younger. So I am younger. I mean, I may be going on 80 in a few years, but honest to God, I feel like I thought in my 50s, I'm beginning to feel like I'm in my 40s. And I just wanted to share that. Just don't give up, because your want tos that you lose will come back. Now I want to go to church and I want to talk and I want to help people. And I just want you to know.
That is amazing.
Wow.
And you look
There's
amazing.
more, but I only have 4 minutes, so we'll have to do
Yes.
another testimony.
But the first time we talked with you, Rose, you actually said, "Well, I could hardly get out of a chair. My husband had to help me out of a chair. I
No,
can't go up and downstairs and all these kind of things."
right,
And then you keep on hearing improvement. So the longer you
right.
use this product, the better it works.
You
And yeah,
you can't stop.
yeah.
You can't stop using the patch,
Mhm.
because if you do, your cells are going to start shutting down again, and then you're
Mhm.
starting over. And
Yeah,
for the young people, if you use the patch when you're young, you won't be going through what we're going through.
that's right.
For us that didn't never had the patch, you know what I mean? They're going to be like ahead of us. And that's what I say to the young people. Right. I couldn't get up and out of bed. I was incontinent. I couldn't get up and downstairs where I wasn't pulling myself up the steps. Right. I had a cane. The cane's gone. The walker's gone.
Yes.
Everything's gone.
Yes.
I'm where I used to be when I was in my 20s, honest to God.
Amen. That's amazing. Thank you, Rose, for sharing. Because she said, "You mind if I give an update?" And I'm like, "I would love to have you give an update because we know how much has changed." She sent us the charts from Cleveland Clinic showing that basically the difference between going what's from wet to dry. Is that correct? Just the
Right.
changes in the macular degeneration. My grandmother had that, and so the same thing. You look at all these different things. People look at their family that has all these challenges. That once again, to us, it's like a social responsibility. We need to
Yeah.
share with others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So a lot of
I didn't wear a lot of makeup today because I wanted you to see what
Mm-hmm.
the X39 is doing for
Yeah.
my skin,
Yeah.
And like I said, 2 years I'll be 80.
That's
I
amazing.
I can't even believe that.
Took a picture of church yesterday and sent a picture. I zoomed in and said, "Is that Rose?" I'm like, "Oh my goodness, you look amazing." So
I lost
absolutely,
50 pounds.
Yes, you
nice.
have.
And I know the
Wow.
patch has helped. It may not be all of it because I tried,
Yep.
but it does help.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely. Well,
yeah.
you're more active
Be-
than you were before, which makes a big difference. Well,
yeah,
thank you
and
again,
the
Rose.
patch gives you a sense of overall wellness so that you want to be healthy and you want to wear earrings and you want to get your nails done, and you want to wear makeup and
Yeah.
but
I
when you
mean,
get old, you lose all that and it's
Yeah.
very sad.
Yeah. Oh, you're helping a lot of people, so we appreciate
yeah.
everything you're doing. So thank you again for sharing,
Thank
Rose. God
you.
bless you. Thank you so
It's
much.
Thank
great.
you.
And,
You're
and like we
welcome.
got we got this recorded so that we can basically share this with others because there's a lot of people that need to hear that. There's a lot of people we know. We live in Florida. Do you think we have an elderly population here? But there's an
Yeah.
elderly population all over the world. Doesn't matter if you're in Europe or South Africa or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But it's for young, old, it's for everybody in between. We get kids that are using this, and they're
Yeah.
getting tremendous results from ADHD and all kinds of different stuff. I
Skin
mean,
conditions,
everything
young
imaginable.
ladies with, girl problems, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So what Rose just shared with us is she shared hope.
Yes,
There's
absolutely.
hope.
Absolutely.
So
Yep. And so
thank you,
that's the part. And
Rose.
so the thing we always tell people too is once again try the product. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how you can try the product itself. But you can get the information and a lot of other testimonials on thisisitinfo.com. At the very top, there's basically it says patents and studies. It says testimonials. You click on the testimonials tab, and you'll see all these different things that you can click on and actually watch other videos of people talking about what it's done. So you name it, it pretty much helps with that because your body basically starts healing like it did when you're an 8-year-old, right? So that's the thing that's very, very cool. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the company, how this all comes about.
Yeah, so at the time that the patch was introduced to us, we had no idea that this company, LifeWave, existed. The company is now a 21-year-old company, open in over 80 countries now. At the time of the patent, which you saw was July 2020, the company was sitting at 20 million US in revenue. So 2024, we closed at over 600 million. Do the math. 600 less 20 million. That's 580 million US dollars growth.
Yes.
Predicted to grow to over $1 billion this year. Absolutely amazing. And the one thing that I love about this product is nobody's going to find it in Discam or Clicks or CVS or Walgreens. When we share the patch, I mean, even yesterday I shared with somebody I was serving at our church in the call center, and a young man sitting next to me, going to full-time Bible school. And he told me, he's working a side job. And I said to him, what do you do? He said, sales. And I showed him the patch because I had it on. And I said, has anybody spoken to you about what's that? I said, it's stem cell technology. I said, phototherapy, you know those words? He said, no, tell me. Very excited. He shared his number, shared the info. He wants me to talk to his wife and him together. Yep. So, there are a lot of people that still have not heard about this. No. And so keep sharing because you don't know who's praying. I mean, Rudy and Hilda, they didn't know that Rose was praying for a solution, but they felt the need to share.
Yes.
And look at the miracles. Yep. Look at that. So absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. And that's one thing we talk about, testimonies are life-changing and they're emotional because I got to hold back because we know these people personally and we love them and it's like we see the changes in their lives and I keep on saying, I'm like, man, I can't go there, I get emotional. So anyway, so the good thing about it is that your life's about to change too. So we're going to play a quick video. We didn't play at the very beginning. We're going to play right now because I want you to see what's going on with our team that we're working with, what's going on with the company, and again, a little bit more about really on that. We're going to go over some numbers with you real quick on how you can get this product at wholesale. And eventually, if you want to say make some money from this, it's changed our life so it can help your life too. So check this out.
In a world searching for answers, one discovery is changing everything. A patch, no bigger than a quarter, built not to treat symptoms, but to wake up the healer inside you. This is X39, a wearable, light-activated patch. Designed by David Schmidt, an inventor with over 200 patents. His mission? To reverse aging naturally. This isn't science fiction. It's stem cell activation without injections, without pills, your body repairing itself. The results? Life-changing energy, recovery, sleep, relief. And the medical world? It's taking notice. Still skeptical? Visit thisisitinfo.com. You'll find the studies, the patents, the proof. It's all there. But there's more. This tiny patch isn't just transforming lives, it's creating freedom. Because behind it is a business model built for the bold. Real people, real results. Income that scales with impact. And here's why. Because this breakthrough technology is patented and exclusive, it offers a lucrative business plan that allows you to compound your efforts. More people than ever are struggling in today's economy. You can no longer rely on your own sweat equity alone to make a living. This business model allows you to duplicate yourself and, even better, to benefit from other people's efforts. So your income no longer depends solely on you. By duplicating yourself over and over, the income potential is far greater than a conventional job, career, or profession. And you're never alone. The This Is It system gives you the tools, the path, the team. All you have to do is start. The question is no longer if it works, it's whether you'll act or let this moment pass. Will you keep waiting or finally feel your body come alive again? Will you stay financially stuck or build something that lasts? Isn't it time to start living life on your own terms? The This Is It action plan will set you on a path to live out the dreams you have for your family. Get back with the person who shared this video so you can experience the age-reversing health and the exciting lifestyle that thousands are already enjoying. This is the technology, this is the team, and this is your moment. This is it.
So we've had people ask, well, how did you get the This Is a Team name? And it's pretty amazing that literally the couple, Steve and Gina Merritt, that you saw in the video there quite a bit, they put together these different functions, different things like that. They've been in this industry for decades and literally have made millions of dollars, over $50 million with the previous company, and they're already over tens of millions in this company in the past 3 years. So I want you to understand that we're just basically making sure that you understand there's a whole system behind this, and there's mentorship, and we're going to talk about that. But Steve and Gina, they actually were involved in another company that did acai juice. Basically, they used to sell it. They brought it pretty much to the market. Now you can buy it in any local store, buy it at Costco, wherever. But back then, you could get it only through a few different companies. And they took that company over $1 billion, had over 1 million people on their team, and they're doing it again here. Because what they happened was that because it's not exclusive, they became a weight loss company. And because that was not exclusive, I mean, all these different things. They said, we don't want to talk about, hey, you think you could? I think you could lose some weight. They're like, this is not what they want to do. So for a year, they prayed for the right company, the right product, the right basically leadership, like David Schmidt, who's the founder of the company, and also prayed for the right compensation plan, and also they prayed for God's favor. So when they saw this, they basically were blown away because they heard about it, knew a little bit about it, but he's a professional barefoot water skier, created all these tricks. He's a world champion, but of course his body took the brunt of the thing. So he's had over 13 surgeries, riddled with pain, taking handfuls of Excedrin, and within a week of using this patch, no more pain. His wife's like, this is it. This is what we've been praying for. And that's the reason for our team's name, This Is It. Because it really is. This is it. This has been it for me. I've been pain-free for 3 years. It's been absolutely amazing. My hair is thicker, darker. I mean, I could go on and on and on. All the different things, all the things about that. So again, we won the Bravo Growth Award, which is basically an industry designation saying who's the fastest growing company in the entire world. That's this company, Lifeway. We got the fastest growing team within the company, and we're going to be 1 million people strong within the next several months, which is pretty cool. So the other part to that is you look at, again, we won again this past year. So 2 years in a row, we're going to win again this year. So growth dynamics. So we got different functions they put on, teachings and trainings, how to learn what to do, how to do that. But most of it's all online. 99% of the stuff is via Zoom like this. So you can be in the comfort of your home and really learn how to actually develop business all over the world. So the one thing we want to talk about more than anything else is really what's most important in your life. I know for my wife and I, family is one of the most important things for us because, again, I mean, my two daughters are here in the United States, but her whole family is in South Africa. So, again, the part that you think about this for yourself, how important is your family to you? I mean, we get pictures of a lot of things, mansions and cars and all kinds of different stuff, all these different things here. But what do we have pictures of? We got pictures of basically family and stuff like that. So that's the thing you take a look at. So time with your family. The number one thing for me is freedom. That was for me because I was working a job. Literally, I was very successful at what I did. One of the top guys at my company, and then they shifted everything. They went from mentorship management to tour mentorship management. They become micromanagers, and I'm like, this is not good. And I wanted out. So the help of my wife, the help of our team, help of God, honestly, was that within 14 months, I was able to replace my six-figure income. Literally several months later, fired my job. Yes, I fired them. They didn't fire me. I said, I'm making more money part-time. You can pay me full-time. And Lily walked in the land of living, had total freedom, financial independence. We've quadrupled our income since. It's about to be quintupled, which is pretty amazing if that's a word. But again, now we have time. Now we got family time. We got security. We can travel. We won 7 free incentive trips just about to win the 8th trip and stuff like that. So it's not about us. It's about how would you like a lifestyle where you can do what you want to do when you want to do and have enough money to do it right. That's called freedom. How about better health? Just like you heard Rose today. Her situation was not good. She said she was in a spiral, downward spiral. Now she's in an upward spiral. She's getting stronger and stronger and better, every day. And how about less debt? What about zero debt? What would it feel like if you woke up in the morning and no debt? Totally debt free. We can help you do that with an opportunity like this, and that's what we'll help people do. So it gets really, really exciting. So again, you want to talk to the person about who invited you and say, these are my dreams, these are my goals, and we'll talk to you about how we can accomplish it. So you want to talk a little bit about the different ways that we actually help people?
So you're obviously saying, well, how about this money thing? Like, what does it look like? What do I need to do to get started? To get your why, because a lot of you obviously saw that slide and you thought maybe no debt, maybe you thought you wanted time back, you wanted to buy it back. Well, how's that going to happen? You make a decision to actually use the product. First of all, you're just going to be blessed by it. You heard Rose's testimony, you saw a lot of the testimonies that we share. You're going to be blessed by it, but you don't want to keep it a secret, right? Because when you find something too good, like we have our hands on, you want to share with people, especially if you're the caring kind, and which I think a lot of you aren't because you took the time to come and learn. So you're going to share with people, and what happens then is the company then compensates you for sharing it. And the whole thing is you get started with a package. And so the package depends on what your affordability is. For us, we decided to go with the biggest package because we knew that there were too many people around us that we needed to talk to about this. And we didn't want them to wait for their product. We were going to get this into their hands straight away. So we had like a mini warehouse. Also, we are already business owners. We understood that starting a business at $1,750 was not a lot. Believe you me, it's not a lot of money. It's the lowest startup cost that we've ever had.
And you say mini warehouse, it was a shoebox about this big that had 20 sleeves in it. That's how big it is.
It had 20 of these sleeves. And so when people said they wanted their product, we then gave them one, not to take and keep, to use, to start using before their product came in. And then when their product came in, they replaced our one that we gave to them. And so we rotated this in and out, and we made that first investment out in 2.5 weeks. And our first month, we made $3,000. So you know what? That indicated to us there are a lot of people out there looking for this. Then if you're saying, you know what, I don't really have that kind of money, maybe I'm more the person that wants to get the advanced package. I have a few people I care and I want to share with, and that's okay. You still get compensated on all of the ways for compensation on this plan. And you do get a little less than the wholesale price. The premium is a lot less than the wholesale price. This is a little less than the wholesale price. And the other thing is with core package, if you're saying, you know what, I still don't have for advanced, I can get the core. That's fine. Get started somewhere. You don't want to miss out on this. But everybody is getting the wholesale price. We're not making any profit here at all. And the other thing is, there's no risk. 30-day money back guarantee, no matter what package you start with.
Yeah. And
But
so,
the whole thing is get started.
yeah, and so there's really 4 ways we make money. The very first way we make money, basically, I tell people it's wholesale to retail. We really don't do that much. I mean, we could sell it for $150 if we wanted to, and buy it for as low as $87, and we make a little bit of money off of that. That's fine, but we want to get to everybody at the wholesale price because we want to help them to get at the best price available. So how we do that by buying a package. When someone signs with the core, you get what's called a PIB, a product introductory bonus of $35. When someone gets the advanced, you make $75. When someone gets a premium, it's $405. So how do we make that money back in 2.5 weeks? We'll tell you the same thing. We signed up several premiums, several advanced, several core, and basically in 2.5 weeks we made that money back. And then we basically that's kind of how we get started. Then the residuals start kicking in because people start using the product. They start referring people, everything else, and that's where it gets really exciting. Because now the third way we make money is basically from a residual standpoint is by building a network. Now, to me, I love that idea. Some people don't like that idea. I love it because again, J. Paul Getty, one of the first U.S. billionaires, in fact, he was the first U.S. billionaire, said he said I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. So think about it from the standpoint, we now got over 7,000 people on our team, approaching almost 8,000 people on our team in 41 countries around the world. We can't stop the business we want to. It's going to continue growing and growing and growing and growing. We have more people signing up every single day because of a network. So by word of mouth marketing. So, but it's as simple as just knowing 4 people. So we always tell people, I'm sure you've already thought of 4 people, but you say you get started as a brand partner, you now get stuff at wholesale, and you might think of a brother, it could be thinking of a sister, it could be thinking of a neighbor or a coworker or whatever it is. So you put 2 people on the right, 2 people on the left, and now you become what's called a manager. And as a manager, you make up to $1,500 a week. Now it doesn't start there, so it's 100 and 200 and 300, 400. But once again, imagine making an extra $200, $300, $400, $500 a week. Extra, right, on your and come into your household. That's pretty significant when you understand that. But then what happens? You'll find someone over here, someone who's like Severina that says, I want to go manager, so we're gonna help her go manager this week. We have someone over here that's like Brendan says, I'm going manager, whatever it is, and we help them do the exact same thing. Now you basically have a manager on the right, and a manager left. You make up to $2,500 a week, and you can on this one way you can make up to $25,000 a week. Not bad. It's capped at $25,000. That's not bad. It's $1.3 million a year. But once again, there's another one that's even unlimited. We'll talk about in a second. But how this works is that as a manager, like I said, you can make up to $1,500. So there's 2 personals right and 2 personals left. Now what happens is that as you're putting more people in 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, you'll find people who say, I want to be a manager, and you'll have a manager on the right, manager left, and you make up to $2,500. When we hit senior director, even though it was $3,500, we're starting making over $1,000 a week in residual income. How many people would like to have an extra $1,000 a week coming in? Would that help you in your household at this point? Then we're going to help you go senior director. We've helped a lot of people get senior director. When we hit executive, that's what set us free financially. They say I didn't have to work a job anymore because we were making about $2,500 to $3,000 a week from this and growing and growing and growing. Well, guess what? 6 weeks later, we basically had this volume at 50,000 points. It went to 100,000, over 100,000. We doubled our business in 6 weeks. That's called hyper momentum. And last year, basically at the end of September, we basically hit the senior presidential director level and with the highest rank in the company. Now, I'm telling you this right now. It's just because we can't stop talking to people and we can't stop sharing, and we're helping other people share. And if we can do it, guess what? You can do it. We'll help you do this. And so the last way is where it gets really exciting, which is really a mentorship management matching bonus. And I can share
so it's a matching bonus,
and huge.
Which is unlimited, unlimited income potential. We showed you the other way was maxed out at $25,000 a week. But this is unlimited. Every single week you decide what you want to write on your check. Obviously, it depends on your ambition level and what type, what you put in it is what you're going to get out, because you're going to go talk to people who are your personal friends and family, and they get started and they are your first generation. When your first generation is getting paid that weekly payout, like we just showed you on the binary, you get paid 25% of what they make that week. So whether they make 100 or 1,000 or 10,000, you're going to get 25% because they are first generation to you. When they go and share with somebody and that person decides to get started, they are second generation. You get paid 20% off of second generation. And now second generation person decides they love this. They're going to share with their friends and family. They are now third generation, and you get paid off of the third generation a 20% matching bonus, whether it's 100, 1,000 or 10,000 that week. You will always get paid. It's matching, not taken from them. It matches whatever they've made. So no matter where your first, second, and third generation are, and you can have 200 first generation people, and they may have 2,000, all your first generation. So you can
Yeah.
see the exponential growth here. Your first generation each has 20 people, and they, so it grows, and your second generation now has 200 people each. Whatever it is, if they are making those weekly payouts, you are getting paid a first generation, second generation, third generation bonus, no matter how far down on the left team and no matter how far down on the right team they go.
Yeah. So, and again, I always tell people, imagine actually unlimited. We're not kidding about people. When we heard about this, we heard that people were making over $100,000 a week. Now, people we know personally on This Is a Team are making over $100,000 a week.
We saw some checks last week.
Yeah.
So when we tell you that there's things like 14 melons, people being paid 14 melons in this business in 2 years, or 2 and a bit years.
Yeah.
It is real.
Yeah,
it is real.
So the part is that, but I use the example, let's back it up a little bit. Imagine just making an extra $1,000 a month, an extra 20,000 Rand a month. I'll use an example for South Africa, 1,000 pounds for those of you in the UK, whatever it is, euros, whatever you pick the number. But think about that for a second. How would your life change? Would that be helpful to you and your family? How about $1,000 a week? Would that be helpful to you and your family? What if down the road you can make over $1,000 a day? Now, we can't make any guarantees. In fact, it even says that Lifeway makes no promises or guarantees regarding income, success, or failure. Each of your brand partner, like any other business, depends on your life, on your skills, your personal effort. You should not rely on the results of Lifeway brand partners as an indicator of what you will earn. It's a fact. But if you're ambitious and you're willing to share with this, and we whole system, we got a 21-day fast start program that you can make like $3,500 your first 21 days if you're willing to, or you might only make $1,000 in the first. But that's not bad, right? So you start thinking about what you can do. So to kind of wrap this up, you pick what package is best for you, whatever you want to do, whatever suits your budget, suits your family. I challenge people all the time. If you have the wherewithal, get the biggest pack. You got a 30-day money back guarantee. When you start sharing this and teaching and basically teaching you what to do and how to do this, you're going to make that money back very quickly as well. We got people on here. We've helped them make it back the very first month.
People, will understand whether you're serious or not. People will, because we saw all the people ahead of us that actually got the premium package.
Yep.
And we said, my goodness, they understand business, and we do too. So if they did it, we are going to do it as well.
Yep.
It's because people will actually copy what you're doing, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yep.
So if you want to lead people, do what you want them to duplicate.
Yes.
And so our thing was we were duplicating what they were doing in the hopes that people, and they have, they've duplicated what we're doing.
Yeah. And so to finish up, there's two different websites. Thisisit.info.com. Take a look at the information there. The more you look at this, the more you go, oh my goodness. And this is a team. You can look at the team site. Even on there it says LifeWave Compensation Plan. There's 2 different videos that explain this more in specific details. If you're someone who says, I want the details, go there. You can watch the videos. There's an hour-long detail from someone who's, again, making tremendous amount of money in this business within the past 2 years. I mean, it's amazing what the kind of income made. There's other launch meetings. There's different meetings even tonight, Tuesday, Wednesday, all these different meetings. So get together with the team. We got even a new brand partner training we're doing tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're in the United States or you know people in the United States that are brand new, invite them to that where we talk about how to get launched, how to get started, which is very, very cool. And then for people, this is the last week to qualify for this amazing thing. Going on a cruise, and so we're super excited. So our whole team our goal is to have 1,000 trip qualifiers on basically the team that we have for This Is a Team.
It's super exciting, and everybody that's qualifying, we're seeing them, and it's exciting. And on our team, we have the highest ranked in points. Dennis and Delora, they're sitting at 400 and something points.
Yeah. And you only need 80 to get on the ship, so it's pretty amazing.
125.
Well, 125 for 2 people, so yes. So again, so there's also different trainings that are going. So on the Sunday, 10/26, mark this down. That's 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. So 8:30 to 3:30, they're going to have basically training from the top leaders that are on This Is a Team. Specifically, we're shooting videos, doing all kinds of stuff over that weekend. We got to go into that, and then also all in. We got people coming in from South Africa. So Brendan's joining us. Him and his girlfriend just booked their flight, so they're flying in to join us in Vegas for this all in. Some of the videos you saw earlier from that conference this past January. I can't believe it was just 9 months ago. It's pretty amazing, all the different stuff. And again, they're having another different big conference. They normally do two conferences in person, one in January, one in August, and that's it. Everything else is done pretty much online, which is actually phenomenal. So again, the one thing I'll tell people again to go over this is that now's the time to make your move. Get started today. I tell people, don't delay. Get started today. There's no risk whatsoever. It's amazing what happens when you make a decision. Success is the decision backed by a vision. If you have a vision where your future you want to go and you make the decision today, you'll go places. If you say, how can I, guess what's going to happen? We're going to teach you how to do that. If you're willing to learn and being a good student, that's all we've done. We're just being good students, and now we're teaching and helping other people. We're still good students. We're learning things. We're going to be talking about that in the training we're doing actually in 5 minutes.
We'll never stop sharing, because every day.
Oh my gosh.
We hear miracles
Yes.
like we heard from Rose today.
Yeah.
And we don't know who that next person is going to be. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to miss out on an opportunity of seeing someone's life changed.
Yes.
Whether it's a physical, whether it's a financial, or whether it's a spiritual, like Linda, our wonderful friend on here, Linda, who just got baptized this weekend. And we're so excited. So,
Yes.
you know, it's amazing, the connections we have. People, a lot of you we haven't even met in person,
But we will.
but we're family on here.
Yeah. So
and we appreciate you.
And just to let you know, we're starting to book our trip for next year to Europe and different stuff. We're going to coming to South Africa very soon. So a lot of cool things going on. And again, the one thing, just like Rose, she's a hope dealer, not a dope dealer, right? So she's the same thing as us. We're multiplying hope dealers and going out there and giving people hope. So if you love the idea of giving people hope, this is it. It really is. And so the biggest parts of this, like I tell you all the time, is that a picture's worth 1,000 words, a video is worth 1,000 pictures, but an experience is worth 1,000 videos. We want you to experience this product. So once you put it on, it becomes undeniable how it works, and you'll be so glad that you did. So again, we're very glad we share with you today. We're about to jump onto another training that we're going to do at 2:00 for those of you who are serious about a business and really want to build a business. We're going to teach you exactly what to do, and you're going to be blown away by the things that we're doing right now. It is super exciting. But the one thing to finish up is that we know there's a lot of uncertainties in life today. You put on the news, uncertainties everywhere. But the one thing that we know for certain is this is it. So God bless you. Have an amazing day, amazing evening. And if you're going to be on the training, if you join me, we'll see you guys in just like 4 minutes strong. So God bless you guys. Have a blazing day, amazing day. There you go, blazing day. Have a blazing day. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.